Hey guys, what's happening? This is your resident nerdy, snacky Brit from Screen Invasion, Mal Foster, bringing to you the first in hopefully many videos in this series, which covers a topic that is very close to me and my heart. I'm of course talking about video games. Like some kind of digital francophile, I find the need to just archive and list everything I do, whether it's music I listen to on a monthly basis, comics I read, or films that I've watched. It just needs to be jotted and noted down. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a freak, but it's just something that I've always done. So I figured, why not do it this year with video games that I've played through? That way I can kind of keep a track of what games I've played, what games I would like to play, etc, etc. The first entry into my video games Odyssey for 2012 is a game I remember playing the sweet bejesus out of when I was a kid. Released originally back in 1994, developed by Sonic Team and the Sega Technical Institute, published by Sega. I am of course referring to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Originally released on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, depending on what side of the Atlantic you live on. I played through it this year on the XBLA, which is the Xbox Live Arcade. It's a game I haven't played for many moons, but you know what? As soon as I got into it, got right back into it and loved it. Not only did it bring back a whole ton of nostalgia, but it is actually still a very kind of fun game to play, as you will find with the early Sonics. Obviously they kind of deteriorated as they've got older, but if you go back to the older ones, they are still a lot of fun, and more to the point, they're actually harder than you probably remember them being. I remember having to struggle on certain levels, losing lives, losing rings, losing patience, and on the odd occasion losing the will to live. Okay, so maybe it wasn't that hard, but you've got to admit, if you've recently played this or any other Sonic game in this era, they were pretty tricky, especially when you're running at full leg swirling speed and you of course slam into a obstacle, enemy, trap, spike, something which you just did not expect to be there but it was lying in wait all along. This game can make you frustrated, but if you hang in there, it is still a lot of fun. The plot, if that's what you can call it, is pretty much the same as the first two Sonic games. You play, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog, or in this case you can play as Tails, his little orange foxy friend with two tails, hence the name Tails, or you can play as Sonic, which I've already said. So you can play as Sonic or Tails, or if you, of course, had the next title in the line back in the day, Sonic and Knuckles, where you could slam it into the top and combine the two games to make like a mega-sized cartridge, you can play as Knuckles, which is an Echidna, which I still to this day do not know what an Echidna is. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I think it's a Kinder, it could be wrong. It makes me think of a Kinder Egg, which has got nothing to do with this game, or anything with games in general. Anyway, I digress. So you either play as Sonic, Tails, or the Echidna known as Knuckles, but if you are not playing as Knuckles and you're just playing Sonic 3 as it was as standard, you play as either Sonic or Tails. So now that we've got that sorted, let's move swiftly on. Dr. Robotnik, yes, that's right, Dr. Robotnik, not Eggman as he has been known, because Eggman is such a stupid name. What a bad name for a villain. Eggman is the kind of name you give to the sweaty guy who works in accounts. Dr. Robotnik, on the other hand, sounds like a Russian version of the Terminator. It sounds mechanical, it sounds Soviet, it sounds badass, whereas Eggman sounds ridiculous. So Dr. Robotnik, he has, for some reason, taken all the Chaos Emeralds once again, and it is of course your job to go and retrieve them one by one, and in doing so you collect a bunch of rings, fight a bunch of mechanical bosses, and of course free a bunch of animals which have been put into a big massive metal container and you release them. Thinking about it, maybe the villain whose most treacherous act is to just stick a bunch of small squirrels and birds into a huge metal container and leave it in the middle of nowhere does deserve to be called Eggman. So anyway, as Sonic or Tails or Knuckles, it's your choice, or your job even. Well, yeah, it is your choice. You could choose not to do it and not play the game, but if you have chosen to accept this particular mission, you must go through a whole series of different traps and perilous environments to collect rings and rescue fluffy animals, and then of course fight Mr. Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, with his moustache and his strange little floating pond. Granted, this is not the best in the series. In fact, it doesn't really kind of hold the candle to 2, which will always be my favourite, but regardless, it is still a lot of fun. It's a lot of enjoyment, and you know, it's a fun, easy to pick up and play kind of game, which will challenge you in places, but you know, you can bash through it pretty easy, and it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable experience, which definitely brings back not only a lot of nostalgia for me, but a lot of fond memories about why I like video games in the first place, and the kind of reasons that I got into video games as a kid. As the first game for my 2012 video game Odyssey, it's a pretty good start, and if you've never played it before, if you've never played a Sonic game before, then I kind of feel sorry for you, because even though Mario is better as a franchise and has been consistently good throughout its history, Sonic definitely is an iconic game, series and character, and at one point was a real flagship for Sega. The franchise and the character have had its ups and downs over the last few years. Gradually it's gotten better, but this will always remain the golden era for this franchise and for this character. If you're looking for something that's pretty fun to play, something that's pretty easy to just pick up and play now and again, something that you can kind of play through, be entertained and not spend an awful lot of time on doing so, this is definitely worth it. It's pretty cheap on XBLA, I believe it's on the Wii Store too. I'm not too sure about the PSN store, probably on there too, so you've got plenty of options to get it if you're interested. So there you go, there's a recommendation from somebody who's played the game in full. If you have any recommendations for games you think I would enjoy, or stuff that you think I need to play or should play as a gamer, please let me know, because I am always looking for suggestions. I am always trying to expand my video games horizon and just add more to my played history. You know, I'm always on the lookout for a perfect game. So if you've got something you want to recommend or suggest, or if you have anything that is similar to Sonic 3 that you would like to suggest to those who are interested in this, then please do so. Leave your comments, your thoughts, your theories, your queries, your comments, your questions, your recommendations, all of that and more down below in the comments. And until next time, whatever you're playing, keep on gaming, and I will see you here next time.